I think most people are itching to hear about Liverpool and the United game, and I'm going to disappoint you because we're starting with the preview of
We,
the Champions
we,
League.
we have to start from that game.
We have to start with the preview of the Champions League, and of course, we have a couple of games for this week. Uh, Entertaining games, analyzing games, the inconsistent Spurs versus inconsistent Milan, Munich with the erratic coach versus PSG. Of course, Mbappé is coming out to us books that he kept up some of his goals for Munich. And of course, Chelsea versus Dortmund. Dortmund are trying all their best to get back in the title race and stamp the authority on the title race in Germany. And Benfica versus Bruges. And I'm going to start with Benfica versus Bruges. You guys did a wonderful job last weekend. I should give you a wonderful round of applause. You call this that it's going to be a straight Benfica win. Benfica at home. I don't see anything that's going to change on this one. I think the first leg was 3-0. So basically, I could actually skip this one if you
But
guys
neighbor,
can.
did you notice something? There's something I don't think most people notice about the Benfica Bruges game.
Yeah,
Scott
what's
Parker
that?
is the head coach of Scott Parker is the head coach of Club Bruges.
What?
Scott Parker. Yes, you heard me saying this well.
Wow. When did you get the job? It wasn't the coach before the
I
World
was
Cup.
surprised. It was in December or something. Like a team that was doing very
Wow.
well in the Champions League. Why they sacked their coach? But I realized I think
Hmm.
we're not really doing well in the
In the
league.
league.
And they hired Scott Parker.
But truth be told, Skopaka plays one of the best football.
No, I'm
Honestly,
just saying. I'm just saying.
yeah,
I'm just putting
I'm
that
just,
one out.
yeah. I'm surprised myself, and I'm guilty as charged. Of course, Chelsea versus Dortmund, and Kachi, I'm going to start with you on this one.
Mhm.
Chelsea are going to be at home. They won over the weekend. Uh, Too much troubles in the paradise for Chelsea right now.
Mhm.
Their coach is the best coach in the world, you know, amongst other things. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this if I'm a Chelsea fan going to this game. And the sincere truth is most Chelsea fans are actually praying for them to lose this game so
Mhm.
that they can start sack Graham Potter.
Mhm.
I think that is evil. If if you ask me, but it's what they want. You know, what do you think is going to happen in this game? And who do you think is going to carry?
Um, Chelsea got their first win in 2023 over the weekend. Um, I expect the malaise to continue.
Oh
I
wow.
think after I have enough sample size to deduce that Graham Potter is not ready for this level of scrutiny, level of quality of players that come with the same size of ego.
Yeah.
Um, I think the fufu eating speedster in Karim Adeyemi, I won't say would have a field day, but they will get their chances. They've been more clinical, even in their league. Their league form is even better.
Yeah.
Um, I think the win over the weekend was an anomaly. It was something that they needed. It wasn't, when you win and it didn't look convincing.
Yeah.
It was just they
It
needed
was.
to just have that
It
win.
wasn't. Yeah.
Um, I don't think this Chelsea team is
Already.
constructed um, in the right way to win. Excuse me, and I think that lends credence, or it makes me give big kudos and respect to Jorginho. I think he played the long game. That before they clear him out, because there will be a fire sale at the end of this season in Chelsea. I believe a lot of players will be sold for banjo prices. Pardon me for those who are not Nigerians. But coming back to the game, I think Chelsea will have their own spell. The key now will be how confident are these players, the front three, to try and take this game by the jugular. I don't think they are that confident. I think Dortmund comes in, does the smash and grab, because if Dortmund should score first and Chelsea has to chase the game, they become fully exposed and Dortmund will take advantage. It's an unpopular opinion, but I think Dortmund wins it over these two legs. Not necessarily on the night, but they'll win it over two legs. I still don't know how
Okay.
that will happen.
Okay.
Who told you that is unpopular?
Well,
Even
Chelsea fans, the minority Chelsea fans will say it's an unpopular opinion. No matter how much you hate your
No,
spouse,
I
you will
think
still hold your
I think
umbrella
one thing we
over
need
her
to
when
take
it
note is
rains.
this. I think we need to take note the fact that there is no longer any away goals rule again.
Yeah,
It's no longer applicable. So for Dortmund to qualify, either they have to avoid losing or
a
probably want to
loss.
win by penalty. Yeah. Now, going into the game, I can't remember the last time Chelsea has scored more than a goal in a game. So they are probably struggling to score goals. They are probably not even struggling to
they scored
to
one
score
goal.
Great
goals. They are probably
chances.
struggling to create quality chances, which is a very
Yes.
big deal. If that night is going to be the night they are going to get their scoring mojo, or one of those nights that they are going to get their scoring mojo back, then I'll give it to them. But looking at the data available to us on what they've done in the past 7, 8, 9 games, and which is the only thing I can judge them on, I can't expect a team that has not scored more than one goal in how many games now, and probably expecting them to put in a clinical. Of course, I'm not saying it can't happen, but all everything points to the fact that
So you're
struggle
go,
score a goal.
you're going with Dortmund as
I'm
well.
going with Dortmund. I'm going to Dortmund to be sincere because I
All
think
right.
Dortmund is going to score a goal at Stamford Bridge.
All right, Ali, I'm going to stay with you. Bayern Munich versus PSG. Neymar is definitely out, so it's going to be between Kylian and Messi. And there's been talks up about the telepathic synchronization between Mbappe and Messi, the way they communicate these days on the field. Do you think this is something that could be turned around? It's just 1-0, and I'm not a fan favorite of Nagelsmann. I feel if they're in their mojo, they can actually turn this around. Do you think that's possible for PSG on the
There's
night?
a game there. There's a game there. I think some couple of weeks ago when Neymar sustained that February March injury that is well known of always sustaining. Probably
That's unfair. Don't say that, Ali. That's unfair. It's
please
unfair.
let me continue, please. Now they are that you guys you believe in data and we have data that supported this. Please. So, but again, a lot of people believe it could be a blessing in disguise. You see the way modern day football works now. You can't have 3 guys in your forward position who are not ready to work for the team. It's extremely difficult. At least one of them have to be a workaholic who tries to cover a lot of ground. But when you have those 3, there is a kind of imbalance it creates for the coach, and that was what Mauricio Pochettino struggled with last season. This season, when the coach started with the 3-4-3, they said from statistics they've recorded more success playing a 3-4-3 than a 4-3-3. So I think Neymar not in the game for me, I think is probably a blessing. Not enough on Neymar's talent or this, but because the kind of attitude in terms of what Neymar contributes to the team off the ball, you have the same kind of attitude for Messi and Mbappé. These are not guys who are willing to walk off the ball. So having one of them out at this kind of game, I think it could be very crucial for them. Are they going to go through eventually? They will need to win by 2 goals margin. Can they do it? Because Bayern Munich too are very erratic as a coach, I think it's possible, and I think I want to give them a chance.
All right. Olale is sitting on the fence. Are you going with PSG?
No, I'm giving them a chance. I'm going with PSG.
Okay.
Yeah,
Kachi, what about you?
No, I definitely think Bayern concludes the operation, the surgical operation that they started after the first leg. They have almost full complement of their team back with Sadio Mane, who would also be unleashed on a team that may not play, and Hakimi due to his ongoing legal issues. I'm not sure if his mind, even if Hakimi plays, will his mind be 100% focused on the task at hand with a resurging Sadio Mane and Alphonso Davies marauding that the left
Yeah.
side of the attack,
Uh-huh.
right side of the defense.
Yeah.
All that being said,
Come on.
the Bayern, no matter say what you may about Julian Nagelsmann, they are still a better oiled machine than the individualistic tendencies of PSG. Now, individually, PSG has the better repertoire of talent. You can argue from uh, the
The goalkeeper.
the traitor goalkeeper, and I still haven't forgiven you, Donnarumma. Anyway, but from the traitors, from Donnarumma to Matthias Sommer, if you look at it, maybe just 2 or 3 people from the Bayern team will fit in or will make it into the first 11 for PSG. But I think they're a well-oiled machine as a unit than PSG is as a team. And I think that German wall, the vociferous fans will play their part. No, say what you may about how well PSG is and how much money they've spent. Their team, the fans themselves, know that when it comes to knockout European football, they don't cheer with confidence. They cheer with a certain fear that we've seen this play out day in, day out. So they don't act as the 12th man on the field. The Bayern fans have been spoiled rich. They know that their team can win the league, the Champions League, because they've seen them do it countless times, 5 times, I believe, in their history, or maybe 6.
Uh-huh.
So all that being said, I think Bayern completes the job midway.
Okay.
It's another failed project for PSG at the end of the season.
Oh wow, yeah, it's such a nasty market. So I'm going to stay with you. Spurs versus Milan. Spurs lost over the weekend. A bit being unlucky against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Milan a bit being unlucky as well against Fiorentina and lost 1-2. And both guys are playing in the midweek. What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to probably win this one? And because I don't know, I'm looking at Spurs, and they have just one player. Honestly, so far this season. Okay, we all due respect, 2 players.
2 players.
Yeah, Holberg and Harry Kane. Those are the 2 players that I see in their team. You know, Milan to have been so erratic, and like I said behind closed doors, I blame the executive, the head coach. They've been able to do good businesses over the past 3 years, but that brought Milan back to the forum, and they took their foot off the gas over the summer, and that's why we're having this kind of malice that we're having right now at San Siro right now. Who do you think is going to qualify on this one? Sentiments
sentiments apart. Definitely 2 inconsistent teams, but Milan has showed more consistency, winning 4 of their last 5 games across all competition, compared to Spurs, who have only won 2 of their last 5 and lost their last 2. I said the last time they faced each other, I was trying to prove Olawale wrong by saying 2 inconsistent teams sometimes can lead to a very entertaining game, because it means that there will be lots of goals. That wasn't the case at the San Siro, but there were so many chances for Milan to go with a better margin of advantage than just this 1 goal. I think that may ultimately come back to hurt them, simply because playing in England and playing that at that frenetic pace, sometimes if Spurs just turns it up, and I'm saying that looking at how they managed to top their group, let's not forget that going into the last 5 minutes of their game, I believe against Eintracht Frankfurt, if I remember, I can't remember who they played on match day 6.
Yeah,
they needed to win, and they were behind, I believe, or they were drawing, and then they just went into Premier League mode. Once a Premier League club goes into that Premier League mode, which is end-to-end, fast-paced, it sometimes overwhelms teams that apply their trade in the Italian league, or maybe the German league. So if Milan gets a goal early in the game, it calms nerves down, they can dictate the pace. But if it's still a game that's Tottenham has a chance to win towards the end. I'm afraid that not because they are the better side, but simply because of that frenetic nature that they can just flip the switch immediately, it may lead to it. That's now being the unsentimental side of things. The sentimental side of things tells me that Milan, with Magic Mike back, he might just pull some miraculous saves here and be able to get Milan over the hump. But the analyst in me tells me that Spurs wins this.
Oh wow. Olawale, what about you? What do you think? Olawale.
My major concern is this game is Spurs are just too much unpredictable. But there's one unique thing about knockout competition, especially when you know what you are looking for. There is a way, and you are playing at home at times. There is a way the home crowd can probably ginger you,
get you over the hump.
Yeah, exactly, and it looks like a kind of encounter, like Kachi said. Probably Arsenal should have won this encounter in the first leg by 2 or 3 goals, and I just have the feeling that this might just come back to out them, and this is just one of those few nights. Spurs just get the attacking mojo. I think Spurs is going through this time around.
Oh wow, that's sad. I you know what I think, anyways. Sentiment included. Sports
What
is
you
never
think
going
doesn't matter?
sports is never going to make it, so they are going out. Anyways, to the Europa League, Manchester United is going to be playing against Real Betis, Arsenal against Sporting Lisbon. Kachi, I'm going to start with you. Arsenal versus Lisbon and United versus Betis. Those are the two games I'm thinking. What do you think is going to happen in those two games?
It's a good opportunity for Manchester United to wipe the slate clean after whatever happened. What happened over the weekend? Coaches always pray for a game to come almost immediately after a very, very demoralizing loss. I don't think that loss defines Manchester United's season. I also don't think it derails them from this season's tournament, the Europa League tournament. I expect United to be buoyed by the fact, and it's up to Ten Hag and his team to make sure that psychological challenge is overcome. To remind them that, hey, forget Liverpool. Remember that in this tournament, you just knocked out Barcelona. Don't think about Liverpool right now. All that being said, I think it's advantage United. It doesn't matter where the game is being held. I think United gets a favorable result. If it's at Old Trafford, they get a 2-goal win, 3-1 or 2-0, it doesn't matter. They go in at the end of this first leg with a 2-goal win. Arsenal, on the other hand, are coming with full confidence. They are well rested. They are showing that they have depth in their squad. I also think that Lisbon should not. They will give a good account of themselves, but Arsenal to also win this first leg.
Okay, all right, perfect. Lali, what about you? What's your gut feeling about this one?
I think we need to acknowledge the fact that United have a very bad history, as in when it comes to Spanish opposition. When it comes to even the ones they are going to win, you just like they have to sweat, and it's never comfortable when it comes to. And Real Betis are not doing that badly on their league in their league. I think they are presently placed 4th or thereabouts, which means
they just played a draw against Real Madrid. Go outside.
Yeah, so which means they are a formidable opposition. It's not just any out team that we're talking about. Okay, they are presently 5th. So, but by and large, I think United should have enough to win the game. But is it going to be convincing? That's the main question. I don't probably know, but I think they should have enough to win the game. For the Arsenal game, I think the bigger question for me for Arsenal is going to be the approach to the game. Are they approaching this game with the mindset that do we need to win a Europa League now? Or just focus on our league title? How many players are they going to rest? Those are the big
They,
questions
they have they have injury worries. Trossard
because
went
I
off.
think I think
Nketiah to
if, especially with a team that have not been really rotated a lot. Of course, I expect players like Smith Rowe, Pablo Vieira to get the playing time, but I think Arsenal needs to go into that match with the winning mentality, with the same momentum. I don't want a situation whereby they make too much of changes. If Arsenal doesn't make too many changes, I think it's going to be an easy victory for them. But if they make too many changes to the starting 11, I think it could be is a potential game that
banana.
could probably exactly that could probably go wrong. So it
Okay.
all depends on
Okay.
the number of changes Ateta is willing to make.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you very much for that, Olali. And of course, the game will be the 7-0 dropping of Manchester United at Anfield. And last week, I was on this show critical of Liverpool and what they did against Real Madrid, conceding 5 goals. And I never thought that the United that have been so pleased with so far this season are going to concede 6 goals in the second half.
Seven.
No,
Okay,
no, no.
seven.
Consider
Six goals.
one. Yeah,
Six
six
in the
goals
second
in the
half.
second half. And realistically, I can't tell you. Truth be told, I can't tell you where it went all wrong. I can't tell you for real. I'm happy I had Danny Nunes in my FPL team. I have Cody Gakpo as well. Unfortunately, I do not have Mo Salah, which is which is so unexpected for me to have those two guys in my team. But back to the issue at hand. Where did Manchester United lose this game? People will tell you
Okay.
it was just on the bench. Some will tell you it was the battle of the midfield. Some will tell you it's an hangover from winning the Carabao Cup and different reasons. Where do you think the match was lost like?
Now, most people or most analysts or let me say most sporting fans, most times we tend to overreact to results, or let me say our take is probably being shaped about based on the results. And to an extent that's fair. But I have a comment I had to bring out from the WhatsApp group. Ben Respect, in case you are watching this is what this was his comment about the game. No one has to be blamed for the flaws. Every one of them should take the blame in good faith and learn from their mistakes. This is one of those one-off games that needs to be put behind once and for all. So I think this is very close to the opinion I share about this game. I think for like 55 minutes, this wasn't a game that looks like was going to end in a trouble. In fact, United had some chance. They might not be a complete chance like that. They had some decent chances in the first half when it was 0-0. If probably Rashford has done better with his decision making,
With the
we could have been talking about a different thing entirely. But I think the manner at which they considered the second and the third goal was a point they ought to end. If you look at the second goal, there were like multiple challenges, 50-50 challenges that keep falling into the hands of Liverpool player. That could have like 4 or 5 different occasions. 2 players going for the ball at the same time, the ball flipping to another Liverpool player, another United player trying to challenge him. So I think that goal, it came around 50 something minutes. That goal was very demoralizing. And if you look at the third goal, it was United almost getting one back at that point. With Bruno Fernandes picking up a wrong pass. And that they counter on that and got the third goal. Now, but that doesn't justify for you now consider 7. And this is where it is not about when we say game management at times, you even manage losses. It's not about when you are winning alone that we talk about game management. Sometimes when you are losing a game, there are days it's just written all over it that this is not our day. The worst thing you want is a result that could affect the morale of the players. There's a way you manage losses. At that 3-0, personally, I was expecting the team to keep it simple, maintain your shape at the back. Whatever you get in terms of consolation in attack, you just have to take it. The last thing you want to do for a team 3-0 is for you to you lose your shape completely and just let everything open. I think that was what happened from the point it was 3-0 and getting to the 7-0. So I think that was the point they lost it.
Okay, Otumba Basharu is saying Bruno's passes were not connecting and United players were not tracking back. Bukachi, I think part of the problem, the issue was hangover from the cup as well, from the cup victory. And I'll buttress this by saying I see someone like Lisandro Martinez. That guy has probably not pulled a wrong foot all season. And it was showing his number to Salah. I'm like, okay, this is new, you know. Varane was not in his element as well. All those things, all those simple things that United does on a regular day, they were not just jiving, like regular things that they would do, break up play. I don't, and this is no disrespect to Liverpool. This present Liverpool team, as it's constituted right now, is not the team that should beat United. This United under ETH 7-0. I don't care. You might lose. Everybody loses. You know, even in real life, we lose and we win some, we lose some. You know, but not 7-0 against this Liverpool team. It's demoralizing if you ask me. I hope they'll be able to come back from it. But what's your own assertion? What's your own overall opinion of the game?
A bit of statistics. United's unbeaten run at Anfield continues. The last time they won at Anfield, I believe, was in 2016. And in all that period, they've only managed to score one goal against Liverpool in about 7 games at Anfield. Mo Salah also, by virtue of his second goal, becomes the highest scoring Liverpool player in the Premier League, not overall. So big kudos to him. I personally feel that ETA, that I believe, yes, there was a hangover from winning that Carabao Cup, and a lot of players who have never won anything. Remember, I kept asking you why a certain Harry Maguire was kissing the Carabao Cup, but that's just a funny anecdote. But I think it was also a rare occasion where ETH got his tactics wrong. He started Rashford, I believe, as a lone striker. He played Bruno Fernandes out wide, and he played Vegas as a 10 on the day. Now, I know that Vegas has played that role before for the Dutch national team, but I don't think this was the game. By playing Fernandes out wide, he completely let Liverpool off the hook, because there was I think Fernandez's best role is being the one playing like a point guard and facilitating the chance creation. Putting him out wide, he could not run at Liverpool's supposed weakest link, which was Trent Alexander-Arnold. Imagine playing a Rashford in that position where he played Fernandes, and TAA had to worry about his defensive duties because there will be a direct runner at him throughout that 90 minutes or 60 minutes that Rashford would have been on the pitch. This story probably would have been different. So that is the tactics aspect. I believe it made United it kind of like made them less effective, in my opinion. But I also believe that those players finally winning something. I'm not talking of the Varans of this world or whatever. No, some of those players who hadn't won, I think there was also a hangover. But I also agree with Olawale that this is a blip. This is one of those matches you want to quickly turn the page, and the Europa League can't come any sooner. This does not define United's season. However, what makes it so painful is just the team they lost against. I don't think it would have hurt as much if they lost 7-0 against City than it currently hurts losing that by that margin against their hated rivals, Liverpool.
Oh, I don't know. I just think, just honestly, I feel it's unacceptable. That's
Mm-hmm.
just it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't lose
No, no, no,
7-0.
no, no. See, Debo, it's not. See, let me. Okay, see, let's put context into some of these things, and that
Yeah.
is why sometimes it is when there's a pattern, it is when it becomes worrisome to me. As long as it's not a pattern. Now, let me take you back to 99 2000. It's one of the finest year in United history. I think they finished that year.
Treble champions.
They won the league with 91 points, which I think probably was either United's second highest point in terms of winning the league title. But they lost just only 3 games that season. 3-1 to Spurs, 3-0 to Newcastle, 5-0 to Chelsea.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is this: in a season, you have 92 points. If you just look at that game against Chelsea alone at Stamford Bridge, 5-0.
And that was like the start of the season.
You said?
That was like the start of the season. Like the season just started at that point.
Like I don't know, it was around week week 7,
Like
week 8,
like,
around
like start of the season. Yeah.
around that time. So what I'm trying to say is this: as long as it doesn't become a pattern, it's painful. It's not something that should happen. But like I said, the best way to handle such things, where the coach got it wrong, was just letting the whole thing loose. And I think
Yeah,
it's
that's
probably
and Alali, sorry to cut you short, and that's why I said it's unacceptable. They
of
definitely
course.
hi, welcome. Now you just have to put on your Arsenal jersey for everybody to know you're an Arsenal fan. Whatever Arsenal fans, you guys are on top of the league right now. You're feeling like a Babylon star. And welcome to the show, Nayo. Olale, and my point is the game management and what you pointed out is what I'm trying to talk about. And that's why I said it's unacceptable. That going forward, something of such should not happen again. Like you might be losing 2-0, 3-0. Put in your best. Try to do the best and don't concede 7 goals. You know,
Like I said,
it's hold on. It's going to be one of the highlights of Arsene Wenger's career. That 8-2 loss against United. People will only talk about it. And people will not put context to it that day, Saminasri just left. I think Stefanicas or somebody just, people don't put context to it. And that at 1-0, Robin Van Persie lost a penalty that could have made it 1-1. Nobody cares about that. All you've got to think about is all those whiny balls of Ashley Young, that guy that doesn't know how to play football. And what Wembury did. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm coming from. I would never disrespect ETH is one of the best of all time. I would never disrespect it. But this should not happen ever again.
Of course,
Nayo,
I think you should learn from this.
Exactly. Nayo, you wanted to add something to it before I jump at you for Arsenal versus Bournemouth game.
To be honest, well, everyone was shocked that Man U, with the way they are playing currently, could concede 7. I was surprised, because I rushed home to that game. I was thinking, okay, this is what's going to be one of those games that, it's going to be 1-1, 2-2, or maybe 1-0 or 2-1 to, it was a game that everyone thought was going to go either way, regardless. So, 1-0. Man U could have scored in first half, actually. They didn't have much of the ball possession, but they had more chances. But all of a sudden, 1-0 came in, very good goal by Gapu. And then second, I was like, okay, Man U coming back. Rashford. I was looking forward to this game. That Rashford come and conquer his magic. And before I knew it, 2-0, 3-0. So I look at it just again. This is Man U or Toronto Raptors. This is coming to basketball. And then and then every small thing like once they break away, and Bruno was annoying. He was one guy that I was not really happy with on the pitch today. All his connecting passes from that wing were not connected. In fact, they were causing more problem. He was lifting them up. He was using, we use Saku in PS in FIFA 23. And he was just doing those things, and then those guys are hungry in Liverpool like the vex into that match. You just know it. Everyone was collecting, but each time they face they're getting into the half of Man like this and
It
another.
was like a
All the
problem.
forum I
It
was
feels
whatever
like
it
we were
was,
going to score. Yeah.
Yes,
Feels like
every
we're
time
going
they
to score.
attack, was and then there was a time Anthony Anthony lost the possession and he was just truly so I felt today was not it shouldn't define the Manchester United season. It's happened to other big teams in the past too. ETH has really done a lot of fantastic football for them. Who was Man U? Few seasons ago, right? They were like, they are just there. So that's just. Don't be surprised. Too is that they go to the next match thinking, okay, we will do better, or this mental game is voila. If they don't manage it properly,
That's the
it
most
could
difficult
affect
part
them.
of
Yeah.
it.
So
Yeah, it can affect them
so
potentially. But knowing ETH for who he is a strategist. I'm pretty sure he will put this in place.
yeah.
I will be
Yeah.
disappointed if things are not put in place, especially against Betis. I'm expecting a vengeance against. But anyways, I'll leave the United game for now. And I'll come to you right now against Bournemouth. You guys went behind after 6 seconds or 7 seconds.
We won. Don't say you guys. You are part of the. What's wrong with you? Are you not an Arsenal fan?
Olani, let me tell you a secret. Mayo here does not even know I'm an Arsenal fan.
I just found out recently that I was an Arsenal fan. I used to see him as a Man U fan.
He's
No, no,
He's
no.
always using that third person. He's just using that.
I know his history. He's one
Oh,
of
no,
the
I'm an Arsenal fan.
He's always that third party.
You know what he's trying to do? He doesn't want to jinx it for Arsenal this season.
Yeah.
That's why he's trying to say that.
I'm just trying to be a sport analyst and not. The only two things I don't like in this world is number one, Tottenham Hotspur, and number two, Tottenham Hotspur. These are the two things I don't like. Any other thing, I don't mind. But realistically, Arsenal went behind quickly and went into the break. Those guys came out before the expiration of the 15 minutes. So they looked injured. And before you know it, the game turned to be 2-0. I'm like, okay, bad day in office for us now. Let's see what's going to happen. Arteta was very swift with the substitution, bringing in Ben White, taking out Tommy Yasu, and of course, I think I've forgotten the second person that I brought in almost immediately after the second half as well. That changed. It changed the game. Okay, he brought in Rios Nelson, and he changed the game. Rios Nelson gave assist for Ben White for that goal, and it looks all good for us now. And but the truth is, or what I found alarming or disappointing in the whole game was the fact that Arsenal were denied those precious penalties. And honestly, four instances, they go to VAR. At least one of those penalties should have been awarded. And of course, people are not going to talk about it or ruminate so much about it because Arsenal won, right? But it's a bad one, if you ask me. And I want to take your view, both as an analyst and of course as an Arsenal fan.
Okay, thank you for those what you have seen, or those points that you have raised. For some of us that support Arsenal, we've been at this club. For me, I used to live in the UK, so when I was my master's, I chose London Metropolitan University, not because there was no other option, but because it was closer to the Arsenal Emirates Stadium, so that I can go and watch match. So now going to that stadium, having those fans behind your back is always something else. The atmosphere is kind of crazy. Now back to that game. That game was one of the games that every Arsenal fan that was going to that game, like, anyway, today, hopefully, VAR does not, it's not against us. You understand? If Arsenal had lost that game or we had drawn that game, then we'll now start focusing on VAR. Like you rightly said, it's because we won. That is why most people are not going to talk about it. That, okay, thank God that, people say because most of this, what's their name? This professional match official, PMO, whatever, of the league. PMO, they are mostly from, Manchester, that region, you understand. So maybe I don't know if this make any sense or people are just making up fact. Maybe they don't like some certain team to want to favor Martino. Yeah, that's just the word. Because like they don't like anybody that is not Manchester region, and that because when you look at like for Arsenal, it's always intentional. Glaring one. And I think they need to, because now I thought the VAR, the whole purpose is even being defeated, because at the end of the day, what you're supposed to, the other time, they did not draw the line. That we drew these guys, Brentford, they did not draw the line. Man, you played after, they drew the line. The same match. It's just like, what is happening? Look at those handball, glaring one, the one that this defender from Bournemouth, against the pole. If Arsenal had scored that, they would have called for like look at the dragging, so for us, I don't know. I think there are a lot of factors against us. Some people don't really want Arsenal to. They're not that happy that Arsenal is top in the league, obviously, and those officials are there too. Now, Arteta being a very good manager, you understand, that game for me when it was 1-0, I was like, this was a for offer. In the sense that what was Tomiyasu starting in that game for? Oh, because you thought these guys are battling at the bottom, Abby, you felt, you underestimated them for that game. That is what he did. You understand?
But he needed to give them chance.
I know. But to be fair to him, he needs to at least freshen up his team. He needs to that side of the league.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, if you look at it right at the beginning of the season, if not for injury, Tomiyasu will have been Arsenal starting right back.
We understand. Yes, we understand. But now, if you now look at it, most of the teams that has given Arsenal a problem this season are those people that are fighting down relegation. You understand? All those people that you thought you just be walk over, they are the one that will just come. Look at what it is. Just score one goal. Bam, case closed, and they will not come out. So, so now you are going to a Bournemouth that is fighting serious relegation. Oga, imagine. When I saw Pablo Vieira, I say,
but Fabio
he's a baller. He's a baller. You understand? But the sports kind of baller right now that this season, just come in when the likes of Zaka and that midfield is getting tired. Come and do that your Alexander Kleb, Robert Lectin, and just throw those passes, but not starting. Look at that guy started. That guy cannot do 90 minutes now. Against that Bournemouth. Look at those guys. Look at how tiring those guys are. Look how physical they are. So when I saw that thing, I knew what has come. Then you pass. Now, trust me, if Arsenal have scored that goal, let's change the, let's put all the name Bournemouth and Arsenal, and then they would have, Vieira would go back and say, okay, when they wanted to pass the ball, before they pass, one Bournemouth player just closer down was already in Arsenal half. They will not call that goal. Go and watch that thing again. You understand? So sometimes you think, is it intentional or
VAR checked it and came back to say
VAR will not forget it. VAR will not.
Anyways, let me take Olale's thought about it. Olale, I know on this show we've talked about how VAR is the referee's interpretations about the laws and it's worrisome that referees are the ones sitting on VAR and making these ridiculous decisions. And what Dayo said right now, I was not even thinking about it. So I'm going to ask you the same question. The passing of Bournemouth and them coaching with Arsenal's half at first, all those penalties. Do you think it's ridiculous of Arsenal fans to keep clamoring that things need to change? This doesn't make sense, or is there an overreaction on the part of Arsenal fans because they are under pressure right now?
Well, whichever way you look at it, no. Whichever way you look at it, of course, even if it's an overreaction, even if it's this, it's just normal. They keep expressing that because you want that kind of thing to live in the mind of the referee going forward. Because so that because if you keep quiet about it, it might be doing yourself a lot of damage. But by the time you keep talking about it, there's a way this thing comes to the mind of the referee to okay, I think they said there is a pattern. Personally, where I stand in all these things. I've always said at times it might look like that. I don't think there's any conspiracy against anything. You have your own day. If you have days, it's going to go for you. If you have days, it's going to go against you. But to be sincere, I think Arsenal has probably been on the, let me say, bad, let me say the wrong side of the wrong side of VAR. At least the Newcastle game, there's a couple of games that you question why Arsenal were not probably awarded a penalty. But again, we've seen in some other games too, a lot of questionable decisions. You saw Master Sabisa the other day. I don't understand why he was not recorded in that game against Leicester City.
Yeah, that might
you could see it's something that has gone all over the places. Like we've seen this. It's just exposing how inconsistent, how indecisive these referees are. I think VAR has just come to show us that no, these guys don't even probably understand what they are doing, because VAR gives you the chance to have a second look, and when you have a second look and you still come out bad, then that's
what's the point?
But I think Arsenal fans probably at this stage they need to keep talking about it so that it is in the mind of the referees too. You see, there's something about there's a psychology about some of these things. When during Alex Ferguson's time, the reason why a referee you'll be very scared to award a 50-50 call against United. But you know the run that is coming after the press conference, and you know what. So some of these things are just psychological. It's not like somebody has anything. What do you call it? As the referee under their this thing. But you know, as a referee, you would think twice, unless you are very sure of your decision.
Before you make all those erratic decisions,
exactly. So I think for me, Arsenal fans should continue to do this, because this could be the saving point of you getting one of those calls in your favor. By the time they keep talking about this in the press, that this went against Arsenal, the referees will be cautious, and it will be in their mind in the subsequent Arsenal games. That's just my own take.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that, Olali, and I really do enjoy what you said, and thank you, Daniel, for that. Kylian Mbappé has scored 201 goals for PSG. This is a kid that just went to PSG a couple of years ago.
We don't like to call Pharmacy go.
And he did it He did it in 247 games, which is honestly classic, if you ask me. Nayo, I'm going to come to you. Where do you think Mbappé is going to be ending at the end of his career in terms of legends? He's a legend already. He's a kid. No doubt about it. Yeah, he's a kid. But he's a legend already. He has won the World Cup. Highest goal scorer in the history of PSG. He's probably going to move to one of the biggest clubs in Europe. Maybe Manchester United, maybe Real Madrid, maybe Barcelona at some point in his career. He's not going to stay in the Farmers League forever. No. And it will keep breaking records. He's probably going to break the highest goal scorer in the history of World Cup. And a whole lot of things is expected of this kid. How do you think he's going to rank at the end of this? Probably in the next 5 years.
There at the top, the legend.
This guy is like better than Thierry Henry in the French national team.
That's fun. You pulled up what you put out of my, like I was trying to, compose myself about how to respond to this kid. Usually when I go back and watch some Thierry Henry clips when he was younger, before he came to Arsenal, I think it was before he went to Juventus actually. I think from Monaco to Juventus. It has a similarity in the way the pace has always been the kind of game they have. Ability to control, show you that body and then you leaving the road. This guy is going, all he does right now, he doesn't have to prove anything to anybody again. He's a legend already. So I think the only thing missing is once you can just have that Champions League to it, when case closed. You understand? Because what else? He has delivered for PSG. Some people argue that, he's playing. I mean, he's playing in a club that has so much stars around him. But that guy, throw him in Bournemouth or anything, you're in trouble. Don't allow him to just break away from and face your defenders. All of you are dying, So for me, I see him up there, now that Messi and Ronaldo are actually, moving on. Those are the guys we need to start looking out for now. Those are the guys that are going to fill those voids. And kudos to him at 24, what he has achieved with France and PSG. Oh, I won't lie to you, man. I don't see anyone that close. People can talk about Musiala and what is it? Other guy at Dortmund, but still, he's miles ahead. You can start talking about some Saka,
Yeah.
but that guy Mbappe has that experience, like for somebody who's like 29, 30.
Yeah.
And it's
100%.
because of the kind of people he's played with. When you play with the likes of Messi, all those
Benzema.
what
Yeah.
else? So that's yeah.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. Olale, your thoughts on this kid is magnanimous. That's really what I can think of.
As far as the national team is concerned, I think the legacy is already sealed. For him to have won the World Cup probably at age 19. It's not like winning the World Cup, at 19, being a key part
point,
a key component of how they achieved that result. And 4 years after, despite the injury crisis the team had, they were this close to probably doing a back-to-back title, which we've not seen since Brazil in the early 50s. So as far as national team is concerned, I think, fantastic. He has done well. But as far as the club record is concerned, I still think yes, we know his ability, but I still think we need him to come and let me say put on a show. I think that's the right word. We need him to put on a show.
At a different
Either in Spain, at a different stage, because PSG one way or the other has been disappointing when it comes to the Champions because
League,
whatever PSG achieved in the French league, with the level of competition they have there, it is expected. So the only place they could prove their point, like, okay, this project is a success, these players have done well, is in the Champions League. Years after years, they've been short, they've been falling short. So I think either Real Madrid or whichever club Kylian Mbappé chooses, he has to come in and become the best player. Okay, let me give you this scenario. If Kylian Mbappé eventually joins Madrid, I'm just saying I don't wish this happen, and his career turns out the way Kaka's career turns out.
Or Eden Hazard.
Career. Let me just use Kaka. Do you think the club, the country achievement would be enough alone for people to regard him as one of the greatest of all time?
No, definitely
So I
not.
think he still has a lot. I think he still has a lot to prove. He still needs to come to a big club and do all those things all over again and show the world that yes, I'm not doing this because I'm in a farmer's league. I can do it anywhere.
Wait, but Bola, don't forget us. He has taken them to the final of the Champions League once. Anyways, Dortmund are the heels of Bayern right now. 49 points for both clubs. Dortmund are looking to snatch it away from Bayern, do a smash and grab. But unfortunately for them, Sadio said Mane is back, and when Mane is back, I think Bayern will be they will be back in their group. Tolu Balogun said now that the era of Messi and Ronaldo is facing out, is Kylian Mbappe's time. Olale, I'm going to stay with you on this one. Do you think Dortmund can do this smash and grab? Looking at the plethora of talent that they have, those young kids, do you think they can just do a quick smash and grab like Arsenal is doing? Arsenal are trying to do in England, or Napoli is doing.
I'm even surprised that they are on the same point with Bayern. I could remember
they were 6 before they woke up. Before they woke up,
yes,
they were 6.
Exactly. Like, they were 6 and now. Well, going by the antecedents, I don't think so. We've seen some better Dortmund team than these in the past, who were probably like we felt they were going to do it this time around, but at the end of the day, they are going to fall short. But to be fair to those teams, the team those guys competed with is not the same Bayern Munich today. This Bayern Munich team is full of inconsistency. You are not even sure of the identity of the team, how they will play, or this and that. But even at that, I just believe Bayern, the qualities they have in them, even when you don't have a coach, it should just be enough. It will be a miracle. It will be a miracle if Dortmund will be able to win this title, because you know what it takes to win a title. It's always very difficult.
Yeah. Nayo, what about you? What do you think?
They said Wale said they don't have coach.
Do they?
Okay.
They don't. For me, I don't know.
Trust, yeah, that guy has been riding on past success of the predecessors and the team itself. You know, there are some teams that by default, if they even throw you, they're able to go and manage Bayern Munich automatically.
You understand?
You don't need to talk to my guys. You know what you're going to do.
Arrange yourself. First 11.
You know what to do. How you do the thing.
Exactly.
So again, the inconsistency. If now, yes, Mane has been injured, trying to come back. So the thing is that let's assume, even for people that play, so let me talk from a FIFA, 23 player on PS angle now. When I was playing on FIFA 22, Bayern was a more stronger team compared to what we have in this FIFA 23. So it says a lot about the team and their strength right now. Yeah. You understand? So yes, they are lucky that Borussia Dortmund has not even overtaken them. Again, if they still had Lewandowski in that team, I know all of us will not be talking about what we are talking right now. That one can score goal out of nothing. You understand? So for me, yes, and then I don't know. We don't call them Farmers League in the Bundesliga, but they are surprisingly they have some teams that they catch us now right now. They kill us. You understand? So that's why I want to give it to Borussia Dortmund. What they are doing and that league too, overrated, underrated. But trust me, man. I don't know for them. I don't know. It's a tight one. I think for that we have to wait till the end of the season to know what happens.
Anyways, for this one, I'll probably go with Alale, given what we've seen of Dortmund in recent years. But then and again, we need a new champion in Germany. Honestly, if they can give us a new champion, everybody will be happy.
Leipzig could have competed. I don't know what's up with them too. They do fine this week, and
that's what Bayern does. They weaken the best team.
They buy off them.
They buy off them and do all those.
They buy off them.
All kind of things. Mo Salah has become the highest goal scorer in the history of Liverpool in the Premier League. They have scored 129 booking goals. This guy is a monster, if you ask me. No doubt about it. No energy needed for him. Before we go on the show, the last thing we're talking about is Chelsea. Chelsea won against Leeds United. Looks like they're back. It looks like they're back in winning ways. Leo, do you think this is something that is sustainable? It's just a fact in the bag.
Back from where? That 1-0 was, if not, I don't know, man. I think Chelsea's a team that I think if I wasn't supporting Arsenal, probably Chelsea. No, understand this.
Is the Aguero club we want to support?
Understand this.
Your London label.
When you look at when most of us started supporting Arsenal, maybe because of the likes of Papillo and thereabout, and then what happened then back then, those 90s, there's no way I can support Man United. Chelsea is another team that I would have gone for, maybe because as a London boy, I go there often and I have some friends that work there. But I don't understand their new sugar daddy is spending. You now bringing all those guys. Are you bringing all those guys? Trust me, if it was Arsenal that had done that, we are done. You understand? But when you look at those whooping amount they are paying, some people will argue that they are tying them on a longer contract. Or you are still spending a ridiculous amount of money and you now come here. Some will argue that they don't have a coach. Maybe. Some will argue that the guys don't have that confidence level. They are not inspired to be comfortable on the ball or whatnot. But how can you be collecting that salary and be sleeping and not coming to the field and show up? You understand? That was even a staggering win. They strong. Yeah, they created some chances, but there's no way you put those kind of money together and then you're not seeing 5 or 6 goals week in, week out against teams like that. But for me, maybe they need to. Some people argue that they gave Arteta time. Maybe they need to give time. Time will tell. So for now, that's what I will say on it. Let's hear how this be.
So you don't think they are back to anywhere? You think
they're not back to anywhere? Let them see. Until you say they are back here, when they meet some middle of the table people and they do that thing again, and they now meet the top 5 or 6, and they do that in the shaking here. But one win out of how many goals have they scored since January?
I'm not sure if they scored more than a goal in a match.
I think 3. They scored 1 in the whole of February.
And now
This,
John Felix go in
yeah,
February.
yeah.
Sorry, yes.
Tolu Balogun said, I really want a big L in the Leeds United game, followed by another L against Dortmund, so
So
Potter
that they
can
can
just be
sack
sacked.
the manager.
Nothing convincing about that win against a 17th place team. Olale, before we go on the show, what's your own assumption about the game? And do you think Chelsea can build on this one for a momentum or for a turnaround in their confidence level?
Well, as a human being, I just think I hope so, because when you have multiple bad results, there is a way it rubs the team in the wrong way.
Yeah,
They are short of
100%.
confidence at the moment. It's early to say until they probably put like 3 or 4 good results together. That's when we can say okay. And I think one problem that I still keep having with the team, like I've told you several times, I can't take any team that has Kai Havertz as their center forward serious. Not at all. Not at all. And no matter how bad you tell me Aubameyang is, whether attitude, whether form, I will still take an Aubameyang any day, anytime as my center forward over Kai Havertz. So I think the guy has a lot to do. He has a lot to figure out. Like I advise, he needs to stick with some certain level of ball, like probably 14 players now. You have to stick with them and find your reliable starting level. Let them gel together. This idea of changing the team every now and then, bringing in different players, Madueke today, this other one tomorrow, will not help him at this time of the day. You can leave that one to the end of the season to do when you are now preparing for the next season, but not now. So for now, I still don't trust. I don't think they are bad. They will have to do it like 3 or 4 times, starting from their Wednesday game against Dortmund, for me to know that yes, okay, they need to.
Before you go, Debo, then please, if you have somebody that can tell the coach, the fact that you can substitute 5 players doesn't mean that any small thing like this will just throw the 5.
You just pack all the 5 bombs.
Because what you have done in essence is that you have taken almost half of your team, whatever formation or whatever. I don't know how you communicate your formation. Yeah, you did it with the team, but by the time you are taking 5 people chunk out of a game that you are not even winning, what do you expect is going to happen?
It changed the dynamic of the game. Yeah, 100%.
Thank you.
I do really agree with you. It changed the dynamic of the game. I think our panel of analysts on this show we've reconciled that. I've decided that Graham Potter is not the guy to move Chelsea forward. And we've already said, we already agreed that the Chelsea atmosphere or environment is toxic as well. But what they needed right now is not a coach of Graham Potter stature. They need a coach of pedigree. They need a coach that can turn things around with little emotion and, of course, I think. Anyways, that's the wrap for the show. Thank you very much for everybody that listened, everybody that commented, a list of our guests, our panelists as well. Don't forget, this show is proudly sponsored by Hypermatch, the new way to play your fantasy football league. And of course, Bukezo Glams, the guy, all the people that can get you all your accessories, whether it's chains, whether it's your wristband or chain band or whatever it is that you want, they got you on that level. So we'll see you again next week. My name is Sinaleja Adebo Ali. Please like, subscribe, and share if you like the show. Bye, guys.